What's happening, everybody? You know who it is. It's your boy OG Cook, back with another episode of the More Muse podcast. You know, I wouldn't be a black man if I didn't acknowledge black history, especially while we're in February. And today we got a lot of history going on in the making. Introduced to the show, Ian Burris, owner of the Dankery. What's up, brother?
What's good, man?
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate
you. I'm good. So, you from Durham, right?
Yeah,
you
born
from
and
Durham?
raised.
Okay. So just let's just start here. How'd you start the Dankery? What was that thing that just clicked in your mind where you was like, I want to make food?
So I always had an interest for cooking. Love coming up with recipes as a kid, and even like remixing like frozen food or Lunchables. I'd like put them on a pan and like turn them from cold to hot. Just little stuff like that. And then in high school, I saw a lot of food trucks, like the Only Burger food trucks start getting an opening in the Durham area. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want a food truck. So I would have other businesses like my lawn care business and the boutique where I resold shoes and clothes, and those were all leading up to getting the food truck. So I was living out in Wilmington and I was playing soccer out there.
Cape Fear, right?
Yeah, Cape Fear. Ended up ending the soccer career early. And I was just like, man, let me just start cooking. So I went and got a deep fryer from Bed Bath & Beyond, just like a little one that you just set up on the counter, and cooked for my roommates for a little bit, made that money back, went and bought another one. And then, living in Wilmington, I would just like have friends over and I would cook for them. And I did that for about half a year before moving back to Durham. And then that's when I started the Dankery in my parents' garage.
Wow. So how'd your parents react to that? Like, they said, let's start having all this traffic come to my house?
So I didn't necessarily bring the traffic to the house. I kind of did like a ghost kitchen type of style.
Okay.
So like I wouldn't tell anybody like where I was making the food or anything like that. And then I would meet people in parking lots or I would just deliver to them.
That's smart. So how long did you do that?
I did that for just over a year.
Wow. So what was that feedback like to where, how'd you make that money enough to where you was able to buy a food truck? 'Cause that's expensive.
Yeah, food truck, it is expensive, but really just had like a really relentless mindset.
Yeah,
and I was gonna get it by any means necessary.
Yeah.
So I worked every single day that year pretty much. I think I might have took like Christmas Eve off and maybe Christmas Day, but other than that, like I was pretty locked in. And I even, before I even had the money for the food truck, I had already ordered it and like put down half, and I was just like, I don't got the rest. I'm just about to work, and I'll be back with it. And the guy Miguel Orozco out of Wendell, North Carolina, he was really reasonable with me and understood, and gave me time to get the bread up. So I was able to get that cash, and about by the end of the year is when I put the final down payment on the food truck.
Wow. So with all that being said, how did doing all of that make you who you are today? I mean, because you were CEO. So how did that make you so successful? If you define yourself as successful. I do, personally. But you know what I'm saying? For sure. Like, you a successful black man in this city. So, like, how does that make you, who you are?
I think it was just like building a foundation, something to build off on, and like all that work I put in, and the late nights, the early mornings, the doing things when it was inconvenient to do it, that kind of, I was able to develop a foundation that the whole entire business now is founded on. And people see my work ethic and they understand how they have to work for me because they know the story, they know how I started as just me and I grew. And so all that work was just necessary to build that solid foundation, because the more solid the foundation is, the harder it is for the house to fall apart.
That's real. That's a word right there. I like that. So just talk about selling shoes and your own small boutique. You used to sell at Shaw, right? You used to come out there sometimes?
Yeah, so I went to Shaw.
I thought so, bro. I went there, so I was like, bro, did he go to Shaw? Like, okay, I think I remember you being out there. Did you skateboard or anything?
No, I didn't start doing that till like a couple years ago. But I was the kicker for the football team.
That's what it was. That's crazy as hell, bro. That's crazy. I knew you looked familiar, but I never knew. I just had that feeling. Okay, but let's talk about. Since we talk on the topic of sports, let's talk about the NIL deals and how basically you set a platform for athletes, college athletes, to have their platform. Do anybody have a meal here or anything like?
Yeah, so we were working with Josh Downs out of Carolina, Macy Bell from Carolina, Thayer Thomas from UNC, my boy Deshaun Stevens from Central. It was just kind of like a dual marketing campaign amongst each party, and they promote the food, and then I promote their careers and what they're doing in the community, and just try to grow each other's brands. So that's basically what that was.
So talk about, because obviously you putting money in college students' pockets. We didn't have that in college, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're playing a sport. So just talk about how you're helping them set a foundation already before if they are going to the pros.
I guess just giving them experience of working with businesses and being able to give them my knowledge because some of them are going to go into way bigger deals than working with me.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just good for them to walk before they run.
I like that. So, you honestly, the way I see both of your brick and mortar locations, like it's a culture when you walk in. You know what I'm saying? You got whether it's some young boy or some Gucci or something vibing, like it's blasting when you walk in. You feel welcome. People speaking to you. You see a whole bunch of black excellence going on. So just talk about that ambiance that you set that make yourself, different from everybody else, especially in the 919 area.
Yeah, it's just a reflection of who I am. And just like when I was cooking in the garage, I'd always have the music bumping, and when I would deliver to people, it would feel like just real relaxed.
Yeah.
I just want people to come into my world for a second and just feel comfortable and enjoy the experience, and that comes with the music bumping and people smiling and talking and hearing chatter as soon as you walk into the doors. And it's been really interesting to see all the different types of people that have been able to buy into the culture that we're providing.
That's dope. So, with your service, the service that you provide, what type of standard are you trying to set for yourself and for the Dankery itself?
A standard of excellence, really, but just not the stereotypical excellence that you see in our industry. Just something different, but still able to compete with the Chick-fil-A's of the world and all the great restaurants here in the RDU area. But just do it our way. Yeah,
I like that. So, staying in the topic of the restaurant industry, 30% of restaurants fail. Especially in the first few years. How do you uphold your success?
Well, it goes back just to the foundation and just refusing to fail, really doing anything to succeed. And I've been through a lot in the first 3 or 4 years of business that have really molded me into a savvy businessman that's able to weather the storm, whether it's COVID or inflation, labor issues, just being able to adapt has been pivotal for this business.
So talk about that COVID and what you dealt with during that time. Was it 2 years? So talk about how'd you keep the business running?
So we closed for about a day or two when they first announced it, and then as soon as we reopened, we saw our business triple. And we weren't necessarily prepared for that. It was just a little food truck. and we were doing like everything made to order, and we ended up having to change the whole system really.
Wow.
From going like, okay, bet. So we have 4 tender trays. There's 4 tenders in each tray. We're gonna drop 4 fries and 16 tenders to just drop everything that you can. And it was just like nonstop, just cooking. And then we had to basically figure out like the food truck can go nonstop cooking for about 3 hours, but it's an 8-hour shift. So we're having to change the grease twice in a night as opposed to just at the end of the night. And our coolers can only hold so much food, so we're making runs back and forth mid-shift. And it was a big learning curve. And that affected service at first. We just weren't equipped to handle that much business, so people were waiting for like 2 hours, which we weren't proud of, but it was like, I was on that truck working like nonstop.
Yeah.
And that just goes into the foundation. Like those days paved it so easier days could
That's
come
real.
in the future.
I'm glad you said that, because I remember pulling up sometimes during COVID, like the back half of COVID, maybe the beginning of 2021 or so, and I remember being in those like hour lines, you know what I'm saying, waiting on my food, you know, but it's worth it, you know what I'm saying? You got the great service, you got the great vibes, you got the black people, I mean, respectable black people too. I mean, I feel like it's worth the wait, me personally, you know what I'm saying? For sure. And I'm gonna tell you my go-to meal. Shrimp burger with a honey drizzle, with the Cajun fries. Well, let me get queso fries, and let me get the 3 extra wings with spicy barbecue.
Oh yeah.
What's yours?
That's a banger right there. So
sure.
I get the shrimp burger too, and I'll get lobster sauce in my shrimp burger because that's like a little Cajun mayo with like a little hint of lime to it, so it goes real well with seafood. And then I'll get jerk dry rub fries, so that's a honey drizzle and the jerk seasoning. And then I'll probably just do like maybe like hot honey lemon pepper wings on the side. And yeah, they usually hit the spot.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to try that lobster sauce. So how'd you come up with that menu?
So it's not all necessarily me, but the core menu was like the wing tray, the tender sandwich, and the shrimp burger. And then we just started to kind of like add things, and we were like, oh, maybe we could have 2 tenders on the side, or do half and half, and just trying out sauces over the past 5 years or so. And we find a good one, we're gonna add it to the menu, or at least do like a little test run for it. And yeah, just trying new stuff. Like last year, we added the bacon queso glizzy, which is a hot dog. And like, I never really been that big of a hot dog guy growing up.
That shit is fire, bro.
Like, it's one of the most popular
It's
things
fire,
to
for
make
real.
I appreciate that.
What's up?
But yeah, so just trial and error.
I like that. So, who tasted the food? Because I know you need like you know, sometimes you can't have friends because they're going to tell you already what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, or they're kind of biased. So, you know, how do you get that opinion where it matters, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, my friends have given me really good feedback.
Okay.
And I kind of know myself if a product's gonna hit or if it's not gonna hit. Just once I taste it, I got a good sense of what tastes good. And then if I see my friends enjoying it, like growing up in Durham, like there's a lot of good food options.
Absolutely.
Like,
we were just talking about that.
yeah, when I was a kid, Durham was voted like the tastiest town in the South, and that's amongst Atlanta, Charleston, other big cities. So yeah, we've always had good restaurants. So I know if they think my food's good, it's got to be good.
I like that. Hey, we ain't lying about Durham, man. It got good food, great food. So the Dankery. It was shrimp and pasta Dankery at the beginning, correct?
Yeah.
So, you know, besides where'd you get just the Dankery from?
So the Dankery, I just wanted a name that wouldn't necessarily be tied to like one specific area, because I always wanted it to be a chain. And then, Yeah, it just kind of sounded like a bakery, and then just put the word dank instead.
Wow, okay.
And I was like, yeah, the Dankery.
I'm gonna be honest. When I first heard of the Dankery, I think it was my Shaw days. So it might have been like 6 years ago, and I was like, are they making like weed infused food? Like that's what I thought it was. The dank. I mean, but I like that creativity in it. So talk about what you want to do as a whole. You know, with this, do you want it to be a franchise, or you know, how far do you feel like the Dankery can go?
I definitely do want to franchise it. I'm probably gonna own about 5 locations of my own, and then
Wow.
I'll franchise out. And I think the Dankery can be as big as anything.
I agree.
I think it can be up there with McDonald's, Chick-fil-A, or just a staple in North Carolina. But that's my vision, is to keep growing and growing.
Yeah, I like that. And I think social media presence has a lot to do with it, because you have a strong social media presence. You know what I'm saying? And even just from everybody posting their trades, you know, you reposting them, showing love and all that good stuff. In 2019, Dwayne Wade did it after coming from a Duke game. Just talk about how you felt, you know, personally and as a boss man, to have that traction come after that.
It was great, because it's one of those things you get in business and you don't expect to happen. So it was a really nice surprise, and to have a guy like that come through, just humble as ever, just going to this little food truck. It's a great feeling. It's a testimony to keep on going. And who knows what could happen next?
Yeah, that's real. That's real. So I'm gonna name you 3 people.
All right.
That you have affiliation with, of course, and I want you to tell me what they mean to you and your success so far.
Okay.
Dalton Reeves.
Dalton Reeves. So he's my manager in Durham. He's been pivotal to the growth. So I kind of took him. He started off as just like a cook. So he was like at the batter station, and he learned the fry station, the grill station. And then we started talking to him more about management and how to store food correctly, and temperature and time and control, and really got him into the Serve Safe manager class. And he was able to start as a cook and work his way up all the way to the manager of the Durham location. So he's been huge. He does a great job out there, has an excellent attitude. I'd recommend him to go work anywhere else if he wanted it. But yeah, that's my guy.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Kyrie Matthews.
Kyrie, easy. He's one of my day ones. He's this kid. He just graduated from UNC Greensboro, which is huge. And yeah, he's been working with me since the food truck days. Coming on a part-time basis. With this last year, he's been working a lot more hours. He's definitely one of the key anchors to the Durham operation. And in that group, we have like a group of about 4 or 5 of them that really hold down that Durham location. And yeah, I'm super thankful to have Kyrie on the team, and yeah, always rooting for him.
That's dope. The last one, Ashley's Bakery.
Yes, Ashley. Best cookies in America.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, she's an awesome woman. She's a mother, have a beautiful family, and she makes time for everything, and I really acknowledge that, and I really admire it, just because she just has so much on her plate, but she makes sure that the cookies are good every single time. They're delivered on time, they're freshly baked, the reviews are great, and she just really became like a part of the Dank family.
That's dope.
It's grown bigger than what she thought it would be, and I'm just been super happy to help her and have her on the team.
I love that. I love that. Hey, Ashley, some shit's fire. Fire, bro. All right, so last question. You get 5 dinner guests that can come into Dankery and sit and have dinner with you, dead or alive. Who are your 5? It's you and 5 other people.
Me and 5 other people. I'd say both of my grandfathers, Kobe Bryant, 50 Cent.
I like that.
My mom and my dad.
I like that.
That's 6 people.
I like that. They come in the package. They come in the package. I like that. Hey, man, I appreciate you, bro. That's a wrap. This is the More Music Podcast.
For sure,
hey, man.
Appreciate you having me.
For sure, bro. Appreciate you, man. Hey, I'm going to have to come in here and get a plate later on. But I know you got to open up, so I'm going to let you go, bro. I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you
For
guys.
sure.